Alright guys, we're back for game number 2. Spawning in the right hand side of the map in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Moore. His opponent today in the blue color playing as Zeus. His name is Redo. It's currently 1-0 for I think Redo's doing something trolly here. It's currently 1-0 for Redo in this best of 5 show match between maybe he missed his hunt or doesn't want to. I see, he doesn't want to use it. Okay. No trolling. It's currently 1-0 in this show match between Moore and Redo, sponsored by, where is he? SHS110, $50 show match. If you're enjoying the stream, please feel free to follow me on the old Twitch. Hit that follow button, or don't. Do whatever you feel like. Redo managed to hold the Oranos pressure for the entire game, defended without losing too much economy, and was too difficult for Moore to push through and take the game. So we'll see if anything changes up this game and see what these guys decide to do. Redo's got a couple of these goats scouting around and just doing his general shenanigans. We'll see if Redo decides to go Hermes again or shake things up. This gold mine for Moore is really exposed. And if you know, one thing I like about an exposed gold mine is a very strong rush. So I'd love to see some of those Minotaur and Hoplite coming out. But, you know, people just like sticking with what they know and they don't like scouting and making decisions based off the map. So we'll see if Redo just goes Hermes or if he goes Athena. We'll also see if Moore decides to try anything different. Go through that. Prometheus is his standard. It's pretty much the standard for all Oranos because the other god sucks that much. I'm sure he's not too happy with this. He can just defend it though with mana and maybe a temple, and then his counter barracks and barracks maybe is going to be enough. But then again, you never really know how these rushes go. We do have the Catastrophic Scout no longer scouting and instead harassing the Oracle Scouts, which I always do like seeing. We do have more all over the map at this moment. He does have the Economic Guild. It looks like he's going for a 430. He's not chopping straggler trees, which means he's not going to transition over to Hunt. And he's also doing a similar thing that Redo did, and he's saving that Caribou in his base for a later stage. I do like this. This seems to be one of those more recent strategies. It's not something that was done in the past at all, so it's kind of like a hyper modern thing where these players ignore their base hunt because it's not that important to grab it. Having that walking time to move out of your base early is totally fine because it doesn't set you that far behind. It's just a little bit more extra walking distance, and you still gather the resources when you get there anyways. And then you can just move back into your base and grab the Caribou completely safe when your opponent hits the heroic in the classical age, sorry, and it's really good. And we are seeing the temple going up for Redo. He's grabbing his outside hunt as well. He's actually on 3 different locations, which I really like, which means that all of that's going to have a significant amount of it gathered by the time Moore starts attacking. And then when he does start attacking, just move back into your base. You've got a lot of hunt here, a lot of goats to gather as well. You'll be totally fine. We've got that temple going up for more Titan and the temple going up for Redo. So we're probably going to see fairly similar strategies from both players. Would like to see the Jason come out fairly early. We have Harmonia's Necklace, which is a huge relic there. It's basically a pickaxe in terms of, I think it actually is pickaxe in terms of what it does. So it's a good 50 food, 120 wood worth of relic there instantly. So we'll see if that does get picked up. We haven't scouted the second relic just yet, but Prometheus is coming in here for Moore. He's grabbing his own pickaxe there, and no Hermes just yet. Got another villager queued up here for Redo, so not sure if that's because he didn't have the resources or he's just deciding to go for a later advance time. But he's definitely going for that Hermes. And unfortunately, he does have his Jason out, so he is going to be pushing more off this hunt here as he's walking straight past the hunt, not paying attention. Gonna move over here. There we go. Start attacking these citizens here, and Moore decides to move back into his base at this point. Feel like he probably could have done that a little bit earlier, but it's totally fine. He's only going to take a couple of those hits from the Jason, and he's going to get back into this sentry tower. Move over onto the Caribou, and then the town center should be able to deal with that. We've got the counter barracks going up. We've got a nice wall here, and we do have Hermes coming through now for Redo. He's got the double villages on the favor. Just like the last game, going to be able to start making those Supercon as soon as possible. Scout is moving around trying to find something. Finally found the other Scout. Bridal Pegasus probably not going to get picked up. We do see the Promethean offspring have been deleted, and they're going to be scouting. Unfortunately, they're going to the top of the map because I feel like potentially Moore didn't scout it, so he may be trying to scout it now with those, whereas he kind of knows there's something coming on over here, and he could send those Promethean offspring over there straight away and start harassing that hunt. But unfortunately, the scouting not quite good enough to find that, and going to be effectively running into the worst spot on the map here, this town center. He's probably going to be able to start attacking these Prometheans. Odysseus gets created straight away. We have a centaur out. We've got the double stable. Ooh, stable military academy going down here for Redo. So not sure if this is a fakey play. We have the Odysseus coming out now to completely shut down these Promethean offspring. They're going to get... Oh, unfortunately, Odysseus misses that shot there, but managing to kill the other Promethean offspring straight away. No centaur coming out just yet. There's the centaur, the Sylvan Lore coming through, and Hoplite and Hippocon getting auto-queued. I do like this. I love the, I think it's a 1-1-1, right? I guess you go stable, military academy, archery range, and centaur. I do like it, but the archery range comes out a bit later. Potentially, I'm not 100% sure if that's what happens. I vaguely recall 1-1-1 being a strategy that Zeus does against Oranos to some sort of effectiveness. But you don't really need to get the centaur, you don't have to get the Toxotes until a little bit later. So centaurs start getting pumped and you're totally fine there. So medium term, we're going to be running around trying to find anything, but it looks like Redo's sitting in this choke point, and he's got the buildings to kind of defend here as well. And then he's moving out as Moore moves in. So Moore's going to be able to move in and start dealing a little bit of damage over onto these units here. And Redo's probably not going to be reacting to this. Oh, he misses the bolt. Oh, that's terrible right there. Unfortunate for Redo there. The Hero Murmillo stays alive. Maybe trolling, not sure. Redo going to be moving forward now. He's got a lot of units now. Moving forward, going to be attempting to take out this location. We've got another military barracks coming down, so potentially more transitioning into straight Murmillo, but all of these units from Redo going to be moving in here, attempting to take down this location, attacking some of these citizens. And 4 citizens being garrisoned in this manner is absolutely huge. We've got these hoplites for some reason targeting the military academy, which is producing those Murmillo. And it looks like Moore is going to be coming back in here. A lot of these units are going to get taken down here. And it looks like Redo's going to have to get out of here. There's way too many units. He has picked up that Harmonious Necklace. Hasn't dropped it back into his temple just yet, but looks like Redo should be totally fine here. I'm not sure if fighting this is the best idea. I never know, because it looks like Oranos' army is always so big, but it always seems like the Greek army can deal with it. This Odysseus is tanking so much damage, and those Hero Terma aren't really doing all too much as the centaur are moving around. We do see the shockwave does go down, which is going to allow a couple more hits to go down. Looks like this centaur is going to get picked off, and a lot of what Redo has is dead at this point. So not sure what the trades were like there, but we do have 54 population to 80 population there for the Oranos player Moore, and Moore's going to now be able to start putting all of that pressure back onto his opponent that he was taking right there. So he can start moving forward right now after winning that fight and putting a lot of damage onto Redo's army. So Redo has to somehow stabilize at this point. He's got no units coming out of this location here. He's building his Odysseus again, which he does need, but again, 4 villages seems to be the amount he wants to get onto this temple. Definitely need to rebuild this storehouse. Having that walking time, there we go. As I say that, the storehouse is coming back up. So nice economic micro there, or macro, whatever you want to call it. Not sure how you quantify or like describe that, but looks like the centaur are moving around now, and he can sneak these in and get some really strong hits, especially pick off those low HP citizens here. And I'm not sure if he's going to be trying to move around to that location or here. It looks like he's coming over to here, so he should be able to do a lot of damage to that citizen. Does manage to pick off 1 citizen there. That's huge. And it looks like Moore should be able to do a little bit of damage over onto these villages, but Redo's going to be able to defend against this very, very fast. 1 villager is going to go down, and these Terma are going to get out of there. So sort of a trade there. 1 Terma for 1 villager. That's fairly decent there. but in terms of resources, but it does set the economy down behind for Redo, and Moore's always going to take that trade. These center moving back and forth, need to run in and run out and see if they can kill it. There we go. Another villager does get killed there as the Valor goes down. Moore pauses the game. Stop abuse. He's mad, not happy with that. This is how you use center. Hit and run, and pick off those low HP units you did damage to early in the game. Move around and do all of that stuff. We do see a second town center is going up for Moore. Moore wants to continue to get ahead on that economy. Yeah, unfortunately, he's not. He's got a little bit of idle villager time here as Moore's now moving around with his Miller. He does have a fair few. He's seen the sort of unit composition of Redo, and we do see these center again running around. We're gonna pick off one of these Terma here. Nice little pick off there as these Terma running around. We do see some villagers moving forward, going to be starting to grab some of these elk. The caribou in his base have been grabbed, and we do have even more of those center are getting pumped out at this point here. Though we do see the medium Terma have found this location here. We have a bunch of Hippocon over here, which should be able to deal with this this Terma here, as we also see these Hoplite and Centaur are moving in to attempt to pick off this mana. So, or I'm not exactly sure. He's going to pick off the mana, maybe. But Moore has got that second town center up. Still, we got some more houses coming up for Redo. No second town center in sight just yet. So potentially, we might see Redo stick one town center here. He is sitting at 99 population to the 117 population. And the big story is going to be, can Moore grab that second gold mine or not? And it looks like he's moving up to the top gold mine here, which is going to get scouted, potentially grabbing the town center. Let's have a look. He doesn't have the resources for the town center, so he is going for this gold mine. And the army of Moore is picking off a lot of these villages, and he decides to cast Ceasefire. That's a head scratcher right there. I guess you lose some villages, but when you're putting aggression on, Ceasefire just doesn't make sense, right? You put the aggression on, you force your opponent to come back to you and deal with what you're doing. We are seeing that this scout does manage to spot this these citizens here, so I assume that Redo may send a scout over in order to deal with this, but I guess the real story is how strong Redo's army is. He's got less population. If you look, we've got 111 population to 124 population, but he's got the quality of units in the Hoplite and in the Hippocon, and definitely in those Centaur. And we are seeing finally Cairo Ballista are coming out, so they're going to be able to deal with these Hoplite a little bit better than the Terma. Definitely want to be switching over to the Mermillo and Cairo Ballista sort of strategy there, and we are seeing more Titan moving some of those food villages over to wood. And this is the fight which Redo really needs to win. If he doesn't win this fight here, it's going to be very difficult for him to stay relevant in this game, but his army composition and his complete foothold in this location is very, very strong. Town Center is going to be dealing some damage here, though it only does 9 pierce damage per second per arrow. I think it does have it does shoot 2 arrows though, so it's 18 damage per second. But it's I think it is a little bit less than the Greek Town Center, which is 12. So unfortunately, Redo gonna have to get out of here. Not happy with the fight just yet. Losing a lot of those Hippocon to Mermillo and not picking off the Caraballis is gonna spell absolute doom here for Redo. So Redo's gonna try and retreat here as more Titan uses that shockwave in order to pick off a bunch of those Centaur. So he's doing what he can do there to force those Centaur into his army, and it does look like Moore's going to survive another day. Getting that gold mine, he definitely needs to keep building those citizens, and unfortunately all of his resources are going into Mermillo instead of into villages. So Redo's just going to get slowly more and more ahead of Moore's Titan in economy, because I was saying he's building villages, but looks like Hoplite are coming out instead of villages at this point, and he is moving over to this location to grab some of these Aurochs. As the fight continues in this location, it just seems like a little bit of a futile effort here for Redo. If we check the population again, Redo sitting at 106 to the 122. A little bit of back and forth at this point in the game. I don't know. The gold mine is here, but I feel like Moore's just going to take a chill pill at this point. Maybe going to move over and grab this town center at some point here, but I don't know. They've kind of got the resources to grab it, so he should be thinking about it, and he does maybe finally have that second town center auto queuing citizens. So he's sitting in a fairly decent spot, but not really happy at this point. And we do have a Centaur moving in. He's got 8 Centaur massed. This is a dead citizen. It's just a dead citizen. Doesn't matter how fast Maul reacts here. That's going to die. And then the next one should start taking some damage. We've got some Hero Mamilla coming in. Going to be able to pick off one of these Centaur here. But both of those citizens get picked off, which is it's a little bit of a win there. At this point, those citizens aren't worth they're worth a lot. Every single amount of economic damage you do does get yourself a little bit ahead. But the later the game goes, the less impactful killing a couple of villages is. But you've got to take it when you can take it. And we do see Ridu deciding to come back out again. Is he thinking about the next age? If we check the resources, we have nowhere close. Both players, we have the gold from more. So potentially you could stop auto-queuing Mermillo, which he has, and potentially get to that next age. We do see the Centaur moving in, which forces the garrison of those citizens, and the rest of the army is moving in now. More trying to pick off Ridu's army here, but that's just going to get pulled back. And the Centaur's actually doing surprisingly well against the Atlantean heroes here, able to try and pick them off, but the speed of the heroes does allow them to dodge. I think they are sitting at, they sit at 5.28 population, so if they're at their full speed, they do dodge arrows. I think you just have to be above 5.0 to dodge Centaur arrows, so you can kind of do that with those heroes there. And we are getting more building this, getting a watchtower up. Doesn't have access to crenellations, but for some reason has bought signal flares. I guess that allows him to react a little bit faster when he sees the Centaur moving around. And we do have this granary going up. I wonder if these Mermillo are moving over here to defend against the town center's going up. So going to attempt to defend against that with these Hero Mermillo. And we do see some of the Ridu trying to move in here, but with the watchtowers, still no crenellation, but with the watchtowers, this location is pretty well defended, and Ridu is going to have to wait for the next gold mine to make any more of a move here. That being said, though, we are seeing Ridu moving into this location here. I think potentially simply a distraction attempt and not grabbing the town center is what happened here. So deleting a wall for some reason. Not 100% sure what's going on there more, but that's cool. Going to pick off this mana. Caused a little bit of mischief here, but if more sitting at 130 pop, so that mana can go down and get rebuilt instantly, and potentially just get built over onto this town center so you can build it without too many issues. So not the worst thing there. Deleting some of those Terma to replace them with Cairo Ballaster, it looks like. I think that's a great idea. Terma stopped being that useful basically beyond the point of you don't have to just build them because they cost cheap. When you can afford the bigger units, it's better. We do see Hyperion has come through for more. Gonna cast Chaos and grab one of those Centaur, which is really, really nice. And all of those Hippocon as well are gonna chase the army of Ridu. I'm fairly sure he can just run away from those and be totally fine. And we are seeing an Odysseus does get spotted here. Do we have Apollo? Apollo is coming through. Got another stable, another military academy coming down right now. So that's going to be nice. Apollo is through, and the third town center of Moore is going up at this point. We have a nice underworld going on here, but in a bit of a precarious position. Not 100% sure. I guess he used it and he got the Manticore through, so that's going to be nice. So potentially Ridu may be able to grab a 4-town center to 2-town center advantage here if he can hold on to this underworld and force the fight. And he is picking off the rest of these center and then going to move forward. We have more moving into this location here with all of his army. Has he got a market up? He is chucking up a market, and if we check his resources, he's got enough to go straight to the Mythic Age. So he doesn't need to grab this town center just yet. He can effectively abuse his Mythic Age tech and try and basically take this back at a later stage. But we are seeing more trying to move in here. This town center is getting grabbed by Ridu. There is a satire out as well, or satyr. I'm never sure how to say these words. So potentially could start building those, or more could go for that semi-fast Titan. It's not going to be that fast because it's almost 20 minutes, but it's going to be difficult to deal with from Ridu because he's going to have to grab those 4 town centers and then try and stabilize his economy in order to deal with that. So he's not going to be able to get to his own mythic age in order to fight it. And we are seeing palace going up and walls, so potentially going to chuck that Titan Gate into this location here. He does have an Oracle Scout already over here, so he can cast that that Tartarian Gate in the back of Ridu's base and cause some havoc there, but not sure if that's exactly what's going to happen or not. We do see a little bit of a raid coming out at this point. Going to look to grab this location, or basically just send them in to build the Tartarian Gate here. We do have an armory going up for Ridu, or 2 armories, and Hephaestus coming through. Hephaestus? Is that how we say it? Yep. Let's go with that. We have that coming through. So even though Ridu's grabbed this town center, his economy is just so strong that he's able to support that while going mythic. And we do see the Murmillo moving in here, and all of these villagers gonna just run away and start chopping wood over here instead of here. Gonna try and pick off this location here, and we do see that Hecate does hard counter the underworld, and also is going to start putting a lot of pressure into this location here. We see a bunch of these centaur do move in, and some of those medium Murmillo do get changed into hero Murmillo, but that's just going to get microed around there and be totally fine. And I feel like the centaur can possibly just move in here and deal with all of these Tartarian spawn while you move the villagers in to pick off the Tartarian Gate. Could potentially be the answer there, but Ridu really just chilling at this point, not reacting too fast to this, losing some of these things here, losing a sentry tower there, not going to be too much of an issue. But definitely moving in over to this location here, we do see a sky passage going up, which is going to get scouted by Ridu as he's building this town center, and he should just be able to take one of these villages over here and pick that one off. We'll see if he does decide to do that or not. Also, we do have the option. Is he going Titan Gate? No, he's yes, he is going for the Titan Gate. So called that one. We have this sky passage is going to go up as well. So Ridu is going to have to deal with that one. So this is really nice harass here from Moore while he's going Mythic Age. Plenty Vault does get cast, and we do have that Cyclops is going to get out and attempt to pick this one off. But these Tartarian spawn are super strong in terms of killing myth units. So while Colossus normally really hard to take down, once you have Tartarian spawns take them down, it's going to be totally fine for that Tartarian Gate to stay there. But I guess Ridu could just build another one out, and he should be able to kill that one, or just send these guys in and kill this one off. We do see the Titan Gate does go down, and he's got a bunch of villagers moving on over here, and he should be able to get this one up, no problem. But Ridu should be able to grab his 4th town center, should be able to get all of his heroes out, and if there's any god that can deal with a Titan easily without getting his own Titan, it is Zeus. Zeus can get those Myrmidon out, can get a bunch of those really, really strong units in order to kill the Titan. So we'll see if he can pull off the defense without getting his own Titan Gate. We do see Bellerophon's out, Heracles is out, Odysseus is out, and Jason is out. Does he have access? He doesn't have the hero upgrade yet, which he definitely should get. I think you can get it just by being what do you call it? Just by being Zeus, you get the extra HP on the heroes for 10 favor and 200 food, I believe. The Sky Passage is still up here, and I really feel like Ridu needs to clean that one up and grab that town center. We do see villagers moving over here, so he is going to do that. That is going to be cleaned up. We don't have anything like significant to be taking down this town center, and Ridu is still building villages, so he's not at that max supply just yet, which is a little bit surprising considering he's been on 2 town centers for so long. So I guess the real story is going to be, can this Titan Gate be defended? There's so many villages or citizens building this one. 16 citizens over here, not gathering any resources at this point. He's sitting at 200 wood and 400 gold, but he is trying to pick off this location at this point. But we do have heavy Myrmidon coming out as I stutter. Ridu getting his own Titan Gate out as well, so he's going to be chucking that one down, but it's going to be significantly further behind Moore's Titan Gate, and he can just send that one over and potentially stop it with his own Titan. So we'll see if that does happen. Satai does get picked off there by the heavy Myrmidon, but he's going to get out of there, or actually not get out of there. The Caraballister does pick that guy off, and the rest of Ridu's army has shown up now. Titan about to spawn here. 93%. We're seeing more military barracks getting thrown up as villagers get shifted back over onto the resources. We'll see more should have, when you build a Titan or build a Wonder for that matter, you should always shift click your villagers where you want them to go straight away when you've got any downtime, essentially when you've got any downtime while the Titan Gate's going up, so that when it gets built and you want to be moving that Titan around and doing a bunch of other stuff, your villagers automatically go there. And Moore didn't do that there, so he had a little bit of idle villager time instead of getting them back onto work there. So More going to be sending this Titan out with his army. You definitely don't want to split it up at this point because then it gets caught out and Redo can really deal with that. More, you got to lose. Well, that's a little bit racist there, to say the very least. But Titan is out there and he's going to be trying to move in now. And it looks like the Titan's going to try and get surrounded here. All of these heavy Milo are going to be trying to distract from the Myrmidon there as the Titan gets through here. Going to be sending the one straight to the enemy Titan gate, and it looks like more is through at this point. The Hoplite trying to surround here, and he can definitely get that surround, but I feel like there's just not enough villagers here to get this one up. And if this Titan gets through, it may, I don't think it's going to spell defeat for Redo because he still should be able to deal with this Titan, but well, maybe if this pathing blocking just keeps going up and Moore doesn't actually utilize it that well, if he can like, what do you call it? If he just like whacks the ground once, then he can keep moving forward. But it looks like this is going to be really close. We're seeing some building spam here, but it's a little bit slow. The villagers are getting in the way here. Chucking up granaries, chucking up all that other stuff, but looks like Titan Gate at 73%. It's going to be too much. We have the army of Moore moving in, trying to pick off this town center here, and we do see Moore having to bash the ground a little bit there, which he doesn't want to do. Titan Gates are really close to getting up here, and this is actually going to be brutal. If the Titan doesn't get onto this gate, this is going to be the end of the game here for Moore for sure, because he's going to have to kill a Titan with his own Titan plus an army. But here we go, Titan is onto that Titan gate. That's going to be enough to stop it. We have so much damage onto the Titan though while this one's going down. We've got all the heroes, we've got all the Centaur. This is going to be a totally this Titan gate is going to go down for sure here, and we do have the Titan bashing down some of these units in order to stop damage coming down. Does he have access to? He does have the hero, the myth unit regeneration, so that does keep his Titan up a little bit longer there. And Moore is spamming in the chat, but I feel like he shouldn't be that happy just because he stopped Titan of Redo from going up. That doesn't mean he wins the game. These Titans aren't that strong, especially when you've got Bellerophon, Odysseus, Heracles killing it. He's going down very fast. But we do have the fire sirens now coming out. 4 more Titan, going to be able to start dealing some damage over onto this town site, onto this town center. Redo does lose his own town center here, and Moore's decided to neglect finishing this Titan gate. So potentially, Redo could sneak this one up yet again. He should keep building villages though. We do have more retreating out of this location here. Gonna move over onto this town center. Keep on picking off town centers as he tries to kill off what Redo has. But the big thing about having a Titan is that's 20 population. So Moore is effectively sitting at 120 population. So being on how many citizens he has at this moment, he doesn't have that many units. So Redo can effectively deal with any sort of side pushes that Moore does while he moves around with his Titan and just rebuilds town centers. He's also trying to sneak that Titan gate up again. Definitely should be rebuilding the town center as soon as it goes down, as soon as Moore leaves. He does have a Colossus out. All of these heroes are trying to pick off this Titan here, and it's sitting at 2,000 HP, so super close to dying. We have some of these fire ciphers moving into this location here. He's got some fanatics going down, palaces going down, and if he does pick off here with these palaces, it's going to be really good for Moore. So big story is these heavy Myrmidon need to get in over here, need to stop this, need to get these villagers off this location here. We have the Titan moving back over here, going to be able to stop this Titan gate from going up, potentially stop it from, actually, is he going to be able to kill it, or is this Titan going to go down before? I feel like the Titan gate should go down and then the Titan should fall shortly after, so it is a little bit of a trade there. Yeah, Titan definitely going to be able to kill that one, and then that's going to be a dead Titan. And unfortunately for Moore, he didn't actually manage to pick off any town centers. I wasn't able to actually claim any town centers, excuse me. So he's still sitting at the 4 town centers to 2 town centers, even if Redo is not able to claim his own one. He's actually got so many resources in the bag, this is ridiculous. Titan is sitting at 43 HP, gonna get another little bit of damage there, but Titan does go down there, and Rito now revenge flaming more Titan. How are you going to win now without your precious Titan? He says. Town Center going up now for Rito here. Town Center going to go up for Rito over here. Going to get those 4 Town Centers back, and then the population is going to go in his favor. Palace is going down. Myrmidon picking off everything. How's their upgrades? He does have full upgrades. What is that upgrade? I don't think I've seen that. Beast Slayer. That gives him even more damage to that Titan that is dead. So really well played there by Rito, getting everything he needed to do in order to stop that painful Titan from killing him, even though he didn't get his own Titan out in the end there. Fortified Town Centers are now back up for Rito. He's gotten them all up, and he's back to his 180 population there. I can't do this. And we only have more sitting at 123 population, spamming palaces all over the map, and military barracks, trying to hang on here, doing as best as he can. But when it comes down to it, Zeus's late game is Zeus's late game. Even if you're Isis in this situation, super hard to win. Moore decides to tap out, says GG. Well played there by Rito, managing to hold on against that Titan push, grabbing the 4 town centers with his underworld. Really well played. Not able to get the gold star because Moore was able to defend against it, but did enough damage there and managed to take the game. Super well played there by Rito. Unfortunately, Moore not able to win that. Not sure if this is a best of 5 or a best of 3. So I'll come out of the game and we'll see what's happening there, and we'll continue the stream if so. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll continue